Morning. How are you? Day 24, right? Day 24. Be positive. I'm about a minute late. That's not like me, but it doesn't matter. If you notice, I use the whole term ish, 6:30-ish, when I'm going to go live. The ish comes from Indian time. And I don't mean to be insensitive and I'm not being prejudiced or stereotypical, but Indian feather, not dot, right? Or Native American, pardon me, learned from a pipe carrier, a medicine man, whatever you might call him, during a sweat that Indian time. I kept asking questions. I'm the guy that likes schedules. Okay, I'm a schedule guy. I want to know what I'm going to be doing before I walk out of the house, so I can kind of track down that trail. It's just kind of a habit I have. But so I'm doing these wonderful sweat lodges with some incredible people, and I didn't know that they used them for recovery. Most of the people that were there for recovery, but they're also very spiritual. So there are a lot of dual meanings for these sweat lodges, and I got to do a lot of them with a pipe carrier named Jerry Ramsey, who, by the way, has re-entered my life in a wonderful way through his family. I've got a couple of his, I think they're his nephews, maybe. Jack, maybe it's his brother, or his, because I'm gonna have to find out. I'm really bad at that kind of stuff. His little nephew's a student, and it was just interesting that I haven't seen him for like 8 years, and he changed my life just with a little time that we had to spend together doing these sweat lodges and learning about ourselves and Anishinaabe, and being inducted into the tribe as an honorary member into the Turtle Clan, which are the keepers of the protectors of the earth, and even getting an Anishinaabe name from him. I learned that Indian time was it happens when it happens. So I would ask, what time do we get started? How long are we going to be here? It's like, no, Jim, just relax. And we'd sit and talk, and they would smoke. I don't smoke, but they would sit and talk and discuss. And when the fire was ready and the grandfathers were ready, we would enter and hang out. It was awesome. So anyway, Indian time, 6:30-ish, and it's 6:33. So that works, right? Thank you for being here. Thank you for checking it out. I don't see anybody up yet, so which means you're probably going to watch this later, and I'm okay with that. Today I want to talk about holy crap moments, and some people were contacting me about getting in their own way. Remember, we were talking about negative people yesterday, and they're still out there. And if you've had any experiences, I didn't hear a whole lot. A lot of people, well, not a lot. I use that word too much. There were a few people that said, just let it go. And some people learned at an early age that, and I say early, in their 20s, that you can't expect people to act with logic or compassion or love. And expectations are an enemy, right? We want to set goals for ourselves, and we want to expect good things from ourselves. But when we reach across the water, we reach across the table or the room and expect others to respond or react a certain way, that's where the pain comes from. And when I mention pain, suffering. So if we expect others to act certain ways, we have the potential of being let down. And how we handle that creates our negative or positive attitudes, right? Well, part of what we experience as negative or positive. Okay, so let's go back to holy crap moments. And I'll touch on this, and I'm coming back to it tomorrow, and I'll tell you why. Every day I wake up and I have an affirmation, a positive affirmation, not just a positive affirmation. I have an incantation. I have a gratitude statement that I usually use after I recognize and kiss my wife, recognize the love for my wife and kiss her. And what I mean by recognize it is every day in the morning, I make a conscious notice, not just passing and not just a convenience, but a conscious notice of the beautiful woman next to me and the love that we have. And I'm grateful for that. So I notice that first. If she's there and we're together, if I'm traveling or something, I roll over and wishfully will her there. Okay. But other than that, the next thing I do before I hit the ground running is I say, today I'm going to change somebody's life. I'm going to learn something new, and I'm going to experience something wonderful. Well, on that affirmation, that note and that affirmation, I've been going through my day at high capacity, full speed, which means at times certain things that happen normally pass me by, and they only become noticeable as hindsight, which is okay as long as you're noticing them, right? So this holy crap moment was yesterday, and I believe, was it in the evening? It was in the evening. We get home, and I usually turn on the television for background noise. But the background noise that you feed yourself with, right? My wife likes certain shows. My granddaughter likes certain shows. But if I get it first, I'll turn on something learning. And I can't remember if I got it first or if I just stole the remote. But I put on, and there's a channel that has a lot of science and metaphysical and spiritual programs, learning programs. And when I put it on in the background, I picked one that looked interesting, read it, and I let it run. And while it was running, I was doing my work, my paperwork for the day, and I couldn't finish my paperwork. There were things that they were talking about that were right in line with what we were discussing. Magic, right? And I was like, my attention, and I couldn't learn enough. I couldn't. So I'm trying to get my work done, and I'm trying to focus at the same time. And so I'd look up and like, oh my God, holy crap. And I'd write that down for you. And then I try and get my work done. I was like, and so my notes are on the papers I was working on. So I have more work to do today, but holy crap, I cannot wait for tomorrow. I'm going to share this with you tomorrow. I'm going to do more research today and tonight on what I was watching and what I heard, because I don't just spew what I hear the first time, unless I'm just sharing an experience with you. But if I'm learning something, I do some research. And I can tell you this, the one thing that resonated as, of course, but connected as holy crap, was that our brain may or may not be the first access point of our consciousness to our spirit, our soul, and our surroundings. I think, I have thought, I can't say what you thought, but I have thought, in the past, or felt that, this is the first connected point to everything else. So we witness, we recognize, we hear, we taste, we smell, whatever. I think, boom, it goes in here, it gets processed, and then moves throughout with whatever action or feelings that we might want to have from that stimulation. Now stop and think of the word feelings. No, it was proven, and they proved it. Now I'm going to do my research before I go too deep into this, but it was unbelievable. Not unbelievable, it was great, okay? And they measured it, monitored it, did all kinds of scientific research on it. Your heart sends more information to your brain than your brain sends to your entire body. I believe your heart sends more information to your brain than your brain sends to your entire body. Now, I'm going to do research to make sure I got that right. But what they were saying was you feel first. And that feeling runs a program. And that program stimulates the neurons and the connections in the neurons move you in a way that your experience tells you this is necessary. How freaking cool is that? We're here on a positivity challenge for 30 days, and we're doing wonderful. And the whole time, I'm asking you to feed your brain with thoughts. There was one video I can remember back that I shared with you that I said during your incantations, you can't just say the words, you need to feel them. And it was right then that I should have paid attention and went, wait a minute, Jim, you might have it backwards. Can we think ourselves positive? Yes, we can. We absolutely can. Can we speak ourselves positive? Yes, we can. We absolutely can. The words we use, the thoughts we think, the things we see, the people we talk to and touch and do, and the goals that we set, all things that are going to continue to make us positive. It all moves from the heart first to be in line with one of my favorite words, sincere, sincerity. When you move with sincerity, when you act with sincerity, where does sincerity come from? Does sincerity come from a thought? I'm going to be sincere in my act. No, no. Sincerity comes from the feeling of the heart. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, I got to learn more. And I'm just going to keep talking about it if I don't shut up. But I want to save some of it for tomorrow. But I'll tell you, as a martial artist, I study the neurological system, I study the respiratory system, I study the cardiovascular system, I study all of those systems for a couple of different reasons. One, on how to attack those systems, right? And two, how to protect those systems. But how they function in a etherical manner should have been my focus in the philosophical and spiritual realm of my martial arts. And God bless them, my teachers didn't know everything. My teachers were great at what they did. That's why I sought them out. But not one of my teachers, not one of them has it all right, has it all across the board. But that's not why I sought them. I knew they weren't totality. Not many people are. And so what I sought my teachers for was what they were best at. And they are the best at what they do. But none of them had this information. And it's not their fault. It's just what they focused on, right? And what they became great at. So I'm extremely excited to learn this and share it with you. I have a 3 combination rule. Whenever you learn something, you learn it, you apply it to your life. So when I apply this, it's going to be powerful, I think. I know. And then you teach it or share it. So you learn it, apply it, and teach it. And it's yours forever. This is going to be ours forever. Incredible. All right, moving forward. I got a ton of notes over. You should see my piles of notes. All right. Amy Ellison mentioned we were talking about negative people. How's it going, everybody? Look, there you are. You popped up. It's weird. I'll start talking, and I won't see anybody online. And then all of a sudden, bam, like 20 people will be on there. So, of course, I got the regulars. Mr. Molly, thank you for your videos. It's really cool. Mr. Davies on there. Great. Kirkendall. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? Very cool. So there's a lot of people in here. So we were talking yesterday, in case you're catching up, that there are still negative people in the world. And Mr. Davies says he deals with a lot of negative people for a living. And as a counselor, yeah. Here, let me help you with this real quick, Mr. Davies. And I'm not an expert counselor by any means, but I am pretty good at dealing with people. When you get people, okay, we're off the subject of dealing with negative people, and we're off the subject with helping negative people, okay? When you get people that come in and they're negative for a living, okay? And what I mean by that is it's all they know at the moment. And their significance comes from it. And what I mean by that is when you're negative or when you're sick or when you have a disease or when you have whatever, and you tell other people about it, the relationship and the people that can relate to that is greater than the number of people that can relate or choose to relate to happy goodness. Everybody wants to be happy deep down somewhere. Everybody knows that it's a better way to live. Everybody understands that being positive would be much better. But for some reason, most people relate to negative functions and negativity and bad and terrible things. Start a conversation with somebody. Say, how are you doing? I'm doing incredible. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Oh, I like that word incredible. I'm going to talk to myself a minute. And you go, how's the weather? What do they usually say? Oh, it's too hot. Oh, I think it's too cold. Oh, I hate the snow. Oh, I wish the snow would stop. That's a Michigan thing. And then in the summertime, I can't wait for it to snow. But so it's never good enough. Now, there are certain people like myself and other people that I know that how's the weather? Oh, man, I love the weather. Can you imagine? Can you look at this today? It'll be pouring rain outside. And people like me, I love the rain. Pouring rain. Just pour, oh, I can't get wet. Why? Are you going to melt? It's the negative. They look at the rather than the wow, this is beautiful. Can we help them learn to do that? Yeah, one, we have to lead by example. Okay, so if you're helping negative people for a living and they come in, Mr. Davies, set the paradigm right away. Now, this is just me. You can ask your gurus and your teachers and your counselors and the people you work with if it's okay. Please, if you work for somebody else, don't walk in and say, Mr. Adkins told me I could do this. Okay. But let me tell you this, when somebody comes in the dojo and a little kid gets hurt, and I'm not talking about major injuries, I'm talking about he bumps his knee or stubs his toe or somebody punches him in the nose, gives a little fat lip, no big deal. Really, those things are not a big deal. Rub some dirt in it. And I don't get mean about it, but I do not feed the sympathy. Why? Sympathy grows and his attitude changes, or her attitude will change. What gets rewarded gets repeated. Now, you think that that's silly, rewarding somebody for getting injured. Well, the reward is the attention. Now, if they're really hurt, do we pay attention to it? Yes, we take care of it, of course, but I'm not talking about that. So somebody negative comes in, how's your day? And this is somebody from my life, okay? How you doing? Oh, I'm dying. Oh, I'm dying. Well, we're all dying. We're all dying. We're all headed in that direction. I think the challenge would be to die with the most fun style. Well, don't. Okay, never mind. That's I went the wrong way on that. We're all headed in that direction eventually, right? But I would ask this person all the time, how you doing? How you doing today? Oh, I'm dying. Jimmy, I'm going to die. Pretty soon I just started asking, what color coffin do you want? How would you like me to bury you? Or do you want to be buried? Would you like to be cremated? What color dress or shirt would you like to be buried in? These questions got an intense reaction from them. Oh, I'm dying. I'm like, okay, what color your coffin? Don't talk like that. I'm serious. So am I. You're going to die. I want to know how to take care of you. Pretty soon, they figured out that it was so absurd to continue to talk like that I quit giving it the attention they wanted. Other people still did, I'm sure, but they like to talk to me, so they would talk to me, and I love them. So when they talk, I love to reach out and talk to them. So pretty soon it was, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing better. And then there was the follow-up, my medicines are doing this or my medicines are doing that. And pretty soon, after not giving that attention, I'm off the medicines, or I'm changing this, or I've talked to this person and this doctor, and they say that I don't need that anymore. That's a positive reframing and a lack of giving something attention. What gets rewarded gets repeated. When you have negative people coming and you're trying to help them, don't help them remain negative. Do not feed on their negativity. I love to tell this to addicts, okay? Anybody that's addicted to anything, I'm not the guru. This is just my opinion, all right? Let's say you're addicted to alcohol, and I know that this is a terrible thing. People are very addicted to certain substances, and it's hard to get away from. But when you frame and define yourself as an addict, in my opinion, you're never going to be able to let it go. Check this out. Let's say you're in recovery. I love that term better. But you're an addict. Let's say you were an alcoholic or a drug addict, okay? And you walk in, and they used to make you say, "Hi, my name is so and so, and I'm an addict." Bullshit. I'm sorry, bull crap. Why? You're reinforcing an idea that you're trying to let go of. No. Recognizing that you have a problem is one thing. Tagging it and nailing it to your back as a sign is not the right thing to do. What if you were a construction engineer who drank a lot and you were addicted to it? It was part of your daily routine. It was part of your social activity. It was just a part of everything that you did. And you've convinced yourself that you liked it and you want to quit it. The first thing that you do is recognize that you want to quit it. And why do you want to do it? The why is always the most important. So when you have a negative person, you got to find out why they want to be positive. Is it making them feel worse or better? Would they prefer to be worse or better? Do they have people they want to be better for? This construction engineer would say something like this. Oh, not that. That's not what I'm talking about. How you doing, buddy? I'm live, so I'll talk to you. Is that your report or what is that? Yeah. Good. I'll take that in a minute. Mr. Larson, serious for his lesson. Okay, so you would say something like this. I'm a construction engineer who used to drink. And you let it go. That makes sense? You're not the addict. You're the construction engineer. You're a father of 4. You're a father of 2 who no longer needs alcohol. I'm a negative person. I'm a negative person. Can you help me? Yes, I can help you. The first thing I'm going to tell you to do is stop saying you're a negative person. Amy Ellison, sorry. One of my students had talked to me about this. She said, how do I get out of my own way? What if the negative person you have to deal with on a daily basis is you? And she's not negative all the time. Okay, I know her. She's a great person. She's got a beautiful smile, and she works really hard for her family. But she gets really busy and bogged down. She's running like 2 or 3 different companies. And one of them is very physical. Both of them are very physical as a massage therapist, and the other one, she got run all over hell's half acre to take care of things. So she's very busy. So there are times when she gets down. Does anybody ever feel that way? Of course you do. Say I. You do. I. When she feels down, she has negative self-talk, and the negative self-talk starts to feed her feelings. Of course it does, right? Of course it does. So what she asking is, how do we get out of our own way? I think the first thing to do would be to recognize your patterns. There's going to be a pattern. You're going to note it. It'll be a certain time or after a certain number of activities or certain types of activities when it'll feel natural to start that negative talk. Gosh, dang it. Oh, it's Wednesday. Remember that? Oh, hump day. Or Monday. You guys get the Monday blahs? I love this one. Oh, it's Monday. What? It's the day is what you make it. I start my week on Sunday, so when Monday comes, I'm a day ahead of you guys, or some people, and I love it. People live for Friday. Remember that? TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Can you imagine living your life looking forward to one day a week? And I heard Tony Robbins say this one time. I know Tony Robbins again. He's talking about this exact thing. It's probably where I got it. He said, can you imagine living your life for one day a week and then on that day doing things to your mind and body that you regret for the next 4? TGIF. And then Sunday, Monday. So we had to change all that. So how do we get out of our own way? Recognize the patterns and change them. When you were here as a student and you had time to come, this is for Miss Alice, or let's go general for everybody. If you ever did anything for yourself that made you feel incredible, and you found that life kind of took over and got in the way, and you had to let that go. And I'll tell you this is kind of a habit that we all have. We have a tendency not to take care of ourselves first. The things that we love to do are generally the first things cut to help other people, like our family, our finances, whatever. We are used to giving up our self-care first. Probably not a good idea. Okay, there's other ways around that, but we'll come back to that. So Amy, anybody, if you've done something and it's gone, and you notice now that it's gone, you're a little more negative, or you're not feeling as good as you used to. Well, of course not. Of course not. Now, I'm not asking you to come back to class. I know you're very busy, but you need to find time to practice what made you happy. If it was the martial arts, if it was a philosophy, if it was just a connection, call me up and talk to me. Or anybody, whatever it was that you did. Now, if it was skateboarding when you were 20 and now you're 60, you might want to find something else to do, but I don't know. Maybe you could be a good skateboarder at 60. I have no idea. But find that thing that makes you happy and get out of your own way. So to answer her question in a more direct way, notice your patterns. Start writing things down. Whenever you feel yourself getting angry, anxious, negative, stop. And I mean stop. Pull the car over. Close the computer, get up away from the desk, whatever you have to do, stop what you're doing when you're feeling negative and write down a couple of things. 1, what am I feeling negative about? 2, why am I feeling negative this way about this? Then 3, how can I make this a positive thing? And 4, why in the hell did I start thinking this way in the first place? Write the time, write the day, circle it. Keep it on the same pad of paper. The next time it happens, pull that pad of paper out. Pretty soon you're going to go, what am I doing? Okay, so notice the pattern and change it. Now, it's easy. That's as easy for me to say as when you deal with negative people in your life, just let it go. That's an easy statement to throw out. Just let it go. Nobody really came up with a way to do that. I asked for solutions. Nobody came up with a real way to do that. Just let it go. Morning, Mr. Serrano. You're very welcome, Mr. Davies. Let me know how it works and contact me. I'd love to talk to you about the wonderful things that you're doing and how it's working for you. I've watched you change immensely over the last year and a half, Mr. Davies, and it's been awesome. Keep it up. Don't when you slide backwards, you're going to. I was gonna say don't, but we all do. When you slide backwards, remember you've got an anchor at the top. Hold on to it. Climb back up. You know how to get there. All right, guys. I love you. I cannot wait for the holy crap moment tomorrow. I cannot wait. So tomorrow is Thursday, which means I can take my time. I'll probably come on here. Is this a good? I don't know. I'll come on when I wake up and can't not sit still anymore. I'll let you know in the morning what time it is. I want to say probably 7 or 8, but if I can't sit still, I'll be on earlier. But I'm gonna do, man. I hope you're as excited about it as I am tomorrow after tomorrow. If I forgot anything today, because I know I have people asking me to do things. Good morning, Miss Phelps, and talk about things. Shannon Santos. What did she say? She said she needed this, and you know what? That's my favorite thing. I do these things, and I wonder if anybody's listening. I wonder if it's helping, because it's about me. It's from me and my personal life, and the things that I experienced to you for being positive. And a friend of mine, Shannon, reached out and said she needed this today, and I hear that often, and that's a holy crap moment for me too. Like Mr. Huntley, we were talking about dementia that one day, and I had no idea where it came from. This topic just popped in, and here we go. Let's talk about this. And Mr. Huntley contacted me and said, "Hey, you know what, Jim? 5 minutes before you came on, I was thinking about dementia and how we can deal with it, handle it, because he's having some senior moments like we all do." And there it was. And that just floors me. And tomorrow, this covers that. I'll say something and speak. And like yesterday, I thought it was kind of a weird topic for me. The negative people, it didn't flow. It was just something that I felt like I needed to speak. And then somebody popped up and said, "You know what, Jim? I absolutely needed to hear that." More than one person. I absolutely needed to hear that today. I love that. Love it. And I know they're sincere about it. And if I know it's helping, I'm excited. So if it touches you or it helps you in some way, let me know. I'm being selfish there because it makes me feel good, but definitely let me know. And let me know how it changes, and then share it with other people, okay? Take this YouTube channel. I'm going to put this on the YouTube. Take that YouTube channel. When you share the video on Facebook, it's awesome. People get to see it. When you share the one I post from YouTube, they get to go to the channel, and we can start doing that in case Facebook ever stops me from doing live videos. I don't know if that happens or not, but I know that I can keep doing it on YouTube. I like doing this though. Okay, Shannon, I can't remember exactly what you needed, hon, but it was, you said you needed it, and I would imagine that it was with regards to negative people coming into your life and how you handle them, because that's what we talked about. Surrounding yourself with a better group of people is one way to get away from negative people. When you raise your standards and you're not willing to accept certain behaviors or treatment anymore, and you make your mind up that that's just not acceptable, trust me, that's the right decision. Don't let anybody ever tell you you're being selfish or what are some of the other words that they could use to hold you down? Unrealistic. You're being, I don't know what, I can't come up with some bad words, but when they use whatever words they use to try and tell you that the decisions you're making for your own life are wrong, you need to cut them to hell loose. You don't need to be mean about it. You can love people at a distance, especially if they're family. If you've got family that have not yet raised their standards and lifted to and trust me, it happens. Not everybody moves in the same patterns or waves, and it just happens. You got people in your family you love dearly at a distance. Why? They have not yet left behind the negative stuff they need to leave behind. So if it's family that's trying to hurt you or hold you down, you can leave. You can move on past them too. You don't be mean about it. Now, if it's your relationship, what if it's your husband, your wife, your significant other, right? What if it's your partner in life? You chose them for a reason. You need to remember the good that you chose them for and try to work through the small stuff. If the small stuff becomes too regular and big stuff, you need to have a conversation with them about, this is not what we agreed on, or this is not what needs to take place. If it's violent, get the hell away from there. I don't care how much you love them. If it's violence involved, you move on and you get help as soon as you can. And man, I've seen people have a really hard time with that one. But there are people that will help you. Okay. If it's yourself, if you're the one that's negative self-talk, and listen, I do it too. And I know it's after 30 minutes, but we all sometimes talk down to ourselves. And with the law of attraction, we bring everything that's in our life, good and bad, we attract it. Okay, we attract. Now, is it your fault somebody's abusing you? No, absolutely not. But it's your fault if you maintain and stay in that relationship. You understand me? Did you draw it to you? I say the law of attraction, yes. We can get really in deep with that. It's not like you want to be in a bad place, but realistically, you drew that to you somehow. And we'll talk about that in the next challenge, the law of attraction. But we can also change that, because if we take responsibility for everything that happens to us, we are no longer victims. Let me say that again. If we take responsibility for everything that happens, not blame, responsibility, we're no longer victims. If somebody runs a red light and hits you, whose fault is it? Well, they're at fault, but whose responsibility was it? I take responsibility. I could, not for your accident, for mine. I could have been paying more attention. I will pay more attention next time. Then if somebody runs a red light, and I know from my past experiences that there are people out there that don't pay attention, I'm paying attention for them. No longer am I a victim of somebody running a red light and hitting me. Does that make sense? Good. Okay. Holy crap moment tomorrow. Get out of your own way. Let's have some positive speak today. Remember yesterday I said, look in the mirror and tell yourself you love you? That's a weird sentence. It's a great thing to do. Now go back to that mirror, look at yourself, and pick 3 things that you love about yourself. You could be gorgeous. Say it. I'm gorgeous. You could be smart. Say it out. Don't think it. Say it out loud. I love your intelligence level. I love how smart you are. I love that you can learn. You might be strong. You might be helpful. You might be loving. You might be caring. Find something you like. Say it out loud. Send it to me. Send it to me. You ever see people under, what do you like about me on Facebook? What do you like about me? That's fun and everything, but no. What do you like about yourself? All right, guys, I love you. I changed the office around, but I kept Yoda. Yoda is always on my shoulder. Okay. I love you. Have a great day. I can't wait for tomorrow. If you don't get to tune in with me in the morning, pick it up and let me know. And I can't guarantee it's only going to be 30 minutes, but I'll do my best. You know I'm long-winded. You've been with me long enough. Be positive, day 24. Here we go. Have a great day. I love you. Peace. Look at that. I got it right this time.